And with the medicine, like Steph said, you gotta take it. Another thing I find that most people, they're missing doses. That will make your blood sugars high.
Oh, I forgot to take mine. But you ate that, you remembered to eat that pork chop sandwich, didn't you?
Hey YouTube, welcome back.
Again.
Thanks for coming. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. We're Tiff and Steph.
Yes.
Mental health nurse practitioners coming back to share with you guys. We also do primary care. And we're stopping back to drop some knowledge around diabetes, especially those that may be running high blood sugar. So this video is specifically for people who may have high blood sugar readings here lately, may be stressed out, don't know why your blood sugars are running high. You've come to the right place.
Type 2 diabetes.
Type 2 specifically, okay? So if your blood sugars are running high, please stay tuned to the end. We got some tips and also some recommendations to help you have better blood sugar control. So Steph, you want to just start out with just a simple diagnosis just to start us out?
Diabetes. It's a chronic disease. It affects the body's ability to produce enough insulin, which results in more sugar in the blood vessels and urine spills over to your urine. Yeah.
That's really the net
That's
of it.
the gist of it.
And the problem really with diabetes is the excess amount of sugar in the circulatory system just does a lot of damage. And I think what people don't realize is that with diabetes, it's very granular. Even in your hands it's granular, but in your circulatory system it's the same way, and it kind of scrapes up against the blood vessel walls and it just does a lot of damage. And so keeping the blood sugars under control is going to be key in order not to deal with the complications of diabetes, okay? Let's start with talking about this A1C that I know you guys are very familiar with. You probably have heard your doctor or endocrinologist who is a specialist in diabetes. I'm sure they've talked to you about your hemoglobin A1C. And so we use that to diagnose, right, Steph?
Yes.
And so diagnostically, a hemoglobin A1C above 6.4, that gets you the diagnosis of diabetes. So what does a hemoglobin A1C mean? So number one, it measures your blood sugars over the last 90 days, okay? So it's going to capture, if it's September or October, it's going to capture September, August, and then also July, okay? So it also tells us how thick your blood is. So we have a demo, don't we, Steph?
Ooh.
Yeah, so everybody, you should know if you have diabetes, your doctors want your hemoglobin A1C to be less than 7. So Steph is going to demonstrate to us what a hemoglobin A1C of a 7 looks like.
This is your blood at 7.
That's what it should look like.
Isn't
That's
that
the
nice?
thickness that a hemoglobin A1C should look like.
See?
So that way it flows.
It's fluid, it's flowing. This is your capillary, this is your blood. Awesome.
That's the hemoglobin A1C of a 7.
Yes.
Now, Steph, show us a hemoglobin A1C of an 8.
Ooh. Look at that. See how slow it's moving? It's slow. Thick and slow. See that?
The slower the blood moves through your circulatory system, the more it complicates the system. As you can imagine, kind of like plumbing in your house. If it's not moving the way it should be moving, then it just complicates things.
Yes.
So that's a hemoglobin A1C of an 8.
Yes.
Steph, can you show us like a 12?
Ooh. Yeah. Look at that. Barely flowing.
Hemoglobin A1C of a 12. Very thick.
Like syrup.
Yes. Which makes it difficult to get to the very tiny blood vessels called your capillaries.
Yes.
The capillaries is actually the ones that sent us to make this video.
Yes.
The capillaries
said, y'all go do a video.
Yes. Help.
We're here to help the capillaries.
We are. Where are the capillaries located at, Stephanie? Would you tell them where they're located?
in your body. So the capillaries that we're going to talk about, it's capillaries in your body, other places, but the ones that really affect diabetes type 2 are the ones in your eyes, your brain, your toes, your kidneys, little bitty little places, you know, in your body that have little small, you know, organs that have smaller blood vessels. And it's usually those that cause a problem with that thick blood. So Tiffany's gonna.
That's why a lot of times you guys will get a diabetic retinal exam. They're looking at the eyes, and if the eyes have this thick, tenacious blood, guys, you guys could clearly understand why you're having difficulty with your eyes. That's why diabetes can cause blindness. That's why diabetes can cause amputations. That's why diabetes can cause kidney disease and failure and dialysis. That's why diabetes can cause a stroke. Because it's so thick. So thick. Sorry, my eyes is watering, y'all. Diabetes, you know, because of that thick blood going to the brain, some of the blood can't get through. If the blood can't get through, that means oxygen can't get to that tissue. Anywhere oxygen can't get to, that tissue will die. And when that tissue starts to die, that's when you start having the complications of heart attack, stroke, amputations, kidney disease. And so that's why your doctor is always telling you to get your hemoglobin A1C less than 7 because they're trying to thin the blood out. That's another reason why you may notice that you and all your friends are on a baby aspirin.
81 milligrams.
Thin the blood out because you walking around with this.
Syrup in the veins. Just take some, slather it on your pancake, okay? Yeah, you don't want that.
That's why they got you on that baby aspirin, because they're trying to thin the blood out, guys. So that's the reason why. So a couple things. You got to pay attention to signs and symptoms of high blood sugars.
Yes.
They come with some signs and symptoms, which are also, usually they are signs and symptoms to let us know that you may have diabetes.
Correct.
Which are thirst,
frequent urination,
hunger, yes. Fatigue,
yes.
Dry mouth,
yes.
Those are some of the common signs and symptoms that the blood sugars are elevated. So you need to be looking for those. You know, if you're thirsty and hungry and frequent urination and dry mouth.
Urgency. I gotta go right this second. So that's usually meaning that you have diabetes.
Yeah, and your blood sugars are high.
Yes.
They're running up.
Absolutely.
Body's trying to get rid of them.
Yes.
That's why you're urinating so much. Body's trying to get rid of all those high blood sugars.
Yes.
What you guys may not know too is that diabetes has friends.
Oh.
Just like you. Best friends. They closer than you and all your friends. You and your friends don't even get along all the time. They get along all the time.
All the time.
And let me tell you who the friends are.
Who are the friends, Tim?
Obesity, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, and depression. 5 friends. They all kick it together.
They kick it.
All the time. Obesity get the party started.
Oh, he the one. He like, yay.
He throwing the barbecue.
On. Yeah, come on over. Everybody like, okay.
They coming.
We gonna get a burnt hot dog.
That's why you gotta control that obesity.
Yes.
Because he is the one that gets the party started, y'all.
Yes.
Gotta get that obesity under control.
Yes.
That's why everybody be so concerned about your weight.
Correct.
You know, you go to the doctor don't want to talk about nothing but your weight.
Yeah.
Because obesity is the party starter.
Yes, it is.
Don't shoot the messenger. Okay, let's get into what's going to help your blood sugar, because that's why you came. That was just a little appetizer. We going into the full course meal now. Y'all ready? Okay, here we go. Number 1, in order to manage your blood sugars, Steph, what they got to do?
You have to check them.
In order to get better, you got to measure it. You got to measure it. For the blood sugar to get better, you got to measure it.
You got to know what it is. So you can, what you're doing wrong. Am I, did I eat a Carmelo candy bar last night? And I got up this morning, my blood sugars were high. Well, you can't eat that. Or they forget their nighttime meds.
So you got to check your blood sugars. And then you got to know what is the normal range.
What's the normal range?
So in the morning, Before you eat or drink anything, your blood sugar should be about 80 to 120. Okay? And then 2 hours after any meal, you should be less than 180. You got to know that. If you don't know that, you lost. 2 hours after the meal. I find that most people don't do that. They eat and 5 minutes later they're checking their blood sugar.
No.
My blood sugar high. Timmy,
It's gonna be.
my blood sugar was 242. I said, when did you eat, baby? Oh, I ate 5 minutes ago. Okay, you checked it too soon. Too soon. You gotta wait 2 hours and then check it.
Yes. Awesome.
Should be less than 180. Now, if you're over the age of 65, you get a little bit more wiggle room. Work with your provider to see. The way I work with my patients, if you're over the age of 65, blood sugar 2 hours after a meal should be less than 200. In the morning should be less than 140, 80 to 140. So I give a little more wiggle room to my senior citizens.
Okay.
Every provider is a little bit different.
Okay.
So you got to talk to your provider and see what works best. Okay,
Mhm.
Steph, what else could they do to bring their blood sugars down?
Exercise.
Exercise is absolutely wonderful. Now, how much exercise? Because people hear exercise and they be like, well, I did 5 minutes.
No. That's not exercise.
It's not enough. It's not enough. We need 30 minutes,
What is it? 3 times a week?
5 days a
times
week.
5 days a week. 30 minutes, 5 days.
5
a week.
days. 3 times a week is a good start. If you're not exercising at all, it's good to start 2 to 3 days a week. But in order to have impact on your blood sugars, if you want to bring them down, it's 5. Don't shoot the messenger.
5 days.
Because exercise is medicine. And unfortunately, you can't just take medicine a couple days a week and think that it's going to be impactful.
No, you have to take your medicine just as you have to do your exercise. So
Absolutely.
you have to take medicine daily or however it's prescribed, BID, twice a day, or it's just like the same thing. So same concept, guys.
And with the medicine, like Steph said, you got to take it.
I can
Another
take
thing
it.
I find that most people, they're missing doses. That
All
will
the
make your
time.
blood sugars high.
Oh, I forgot to take my. But you ate that. You remembered to eat that pork chop sandwich, didn't you? Don't shoot the messenger. Okay, yeah. Set an alarm.
Set an
There's no
alarm.
excuse. Everybody have a cell phone. Everybody's always on the cell phone. Set an alarm to take your meds. Therefore, you will not forget.
Yes.
Because you never forget that phone, do you? No.
Yeah, you got to take the medicine. That will definitely contribute to high blood sugars if you're missing your insulin, missing your metformin, missing your glipizide, missing. That's a big issue with high blood sugar. So
Yes.
let's double check that we're taking our medications as prescribed.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Steph, what's your thoughts about a nutritionist? Do these people know what they're eating?
Nutritionists are great, actually. I love nutritionists. You need to know what you're putting inside your body. So you have to know what you're eating. So, everyone they just eating. Okay, I have fried chicken, or whatever, they know they're eating that. But you would have to know what's in that. Is it a carb? Is it a protein? What is it? So if you want to tell them more about that?
Well, I just find that most people, they just don't know what they're eating. I'll ask them, what is that? Is that fiber? Is it protein? Is it carb? They like to, I don't know. I mean, if I have 10 people, 9 of them don't have a clue what they're eating. And that just doesn't work with diabetes, because at the end of the day, diabetes doesn't care, guys. The capillaries.
You have to educate yourself in order to help yourself.
The capillaries, y'all.
They
You gotta be advocates for the capillaries.
Yes.
We need you to advocate for their behalf.
because you'll be missing toes and fingers and blind. Okay.
And I've seen so many people learn how to eat and live a good quality of life, learning what to eat.
Absolutely.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yes.
And I've seen people with, not highly educated. You don't need a PhD to do this.
No,
Not at all.
not at all.
They just go, oh my God, Tiff, I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
For real? I go, yes. Know your food groups. Just learn what you're eating, especially if you're eating it all the time. You need to know what it is. Yes. And once you identify that, then it becomes really easy.
Nothing to it.
And you can do a nutritionist or a diabetes educator.
Correct.
They're really good at knowing the different food groups and what you're eating. And I'm just talking about one visit with them, guys. I'm not talking about going to see them like hundreds of times.
No.
Just sitting down with somebody and go, hey, I'm eating like these 7 meals most of the time. What is it?
What is this?
Right. That's not that hard.
Should I, should I change? Should I change?
Right.
Portion size, nutritionist and the diabetes educator are very good with letting you know what portion size you should be eating. So what's a portion size? Can you give them some kind of something to go by?
I can't right now. I'm gonna hold that to the end.
Okay.
We're gonna get that to them later.
Okay, we're gonna give it to them later.
In a little bit.
Okay.
But that I'm gonna hold that.
Okay.
Because that's a good one. That's a great question. That's a great question. But we're gonna get to portion because
portion size.
Yeah, people do not know portions. It's not what you're thinking. And especially if you're running high blood sugars. Nope. Another thing that I find runs blood sugars up, Steph.
Oh yes, sugary drink
that you don't know. For instance, milk. Did you know milk will run your blood sugar up?
High as ever.
People be up eating that cereal late night. They be like, I had cereal, Tiff. I'm doing good.
Yeah, and Fruity Pebbles.
Or even special K.
But the milk, and it's whole milk, not 2%.
But even
not
with the 2%,
not in skim.
Even with
it's
the 2%,
sugar.
it's still sugar, and it's liquid, guys. So liquids are going to run your blood sugar higher than foods.
That's a good. That was excellent. Did y'all hear?
Because it's a liquid. It's a liquid, y'all. So it doesn't have to be broke down by your stomach. The liquid is going to go right into your circulatory system. So it's going to run your blood sugars higher than, let's say, a piece of cake. Because the cake got to be broke down.
Right. Absolutely.
I was a diabetes educator, guys, at Kaiser for a long time. So
forever.
Yeah. So I had a lot of patients that dealt with not knowing that milk ran up their blood sugar. So I had people that just love milk, and they're drinking it, thinking they're being healthy. To me, I'm drinking milk,
and I'm eating all this fruit.
Yeah, fruit. What about fruit, Steph? Tell them about it.
Ooh, fruit is not. I mean, it sounds like it's healthy. I mean, fruit is good.
It is good for you.
It's good for you. But you can just sit up and eat a whole bunch of fruit when you have diabetes, type 2 diabetes.
Because what will it do?
Up.
Has natural fruit in it, natural sugar.
Natural sugar in it, yes. And people, I had a plate of fruit.
Or a whole bunch of watermelon, especially in the summer. You know how in the summertime you just want to eat a bunch of fruit in the summer. When you have diabetes, you can't just be walking around eating fruit. No, those days are over. No. Okay?
You can have a bowl of fruit. I had a bowl of grapes.
Or that banana. I have so many patients walking around with bananas. They love bananas. They like, Tiffany, I'm doing good. I'm eating healthy. I'm eating bananas. I'm like, ooh, put it down.
See, that's why you need to see the nutritionist. Because you think a banana is good and the grapes is good.
Well, the grapes are dangerous. Oh, they dangerous because you just pop
one. You just eat the whole bag. The little bag that come in.
You watching TV,
you
rocking.
The whole grape. Like, ooh, this is good.
And you know what I used to tell my patients?
What?
If you start rocking,
you shouldn't have it.
If your foot tapping like this,
you shouldn't have it. Stop eating that.
If I start
rocking and singing and really happy, like, oh yeah, and you eating something, don't eat it. You shouldn't have that.
You need to know what you're eating. You need to stop right there and go, what is this?
Because literally, I catch myself doing that sometimes. I be just,
oh, this is fun. This is great.
Jiggling and wiggling and dancing and humming. And I catch myself, I'm like, you don't need to eat no more of that.
So that is a sign. Rocking, foot tapping. You should stop.
Singing.
You need to find out what that is. So here's the deal with fruit, because I know what y'all thinking. Well, I can't gonna eat some fruit, Tiff, and stuff, so I can't never eat no fruit. Is that what you trying to say? See, there y'all go. Okay, I know. So this is how we're gonna eat the fruit, okay? The fruit cannot just stand alone. Okay, here's the thing with carbs, y'all. Carbs need a date. It's kind of like a bride with a groom. You need both of them together. Bride can't be up there by herself. So the carb needs a date. So the fruit needs a date. You want to put the fruit with protein preferably. Okay, so you need to know what protein is. That could be some peanuts. It could be a piece of chicken. It could be some tuna. It could be some turkey. It could
Proteins are usually meats.
Yeah, I mean, mostly meats, but I'm trying to go a little leaner. I want to go with some peanuts, or I want to do, what else is good for, I like peanuts. A handful of peanuts, unsalted, because we know that diabetes like hypertension. They cool. They kills it. Cool. So we got to watch the sodium. So we want to do low sodium peanuts. We don't want nothing that you love, because then you'll overeat the peanuts. So we want something like a handful of peanuts. Eat that first, then have the fruit. So then you won't overeat the fruit. So you got to kind of trick the mind. So that's where the nutritionist is going to come in, because we're not nutritionists, okay? So you're going to find a way to put the protein with the fruit, so the fruit doesn't raise your blood sugar so high, okay, guys? So that's the key. The fruit should never stand alone. No carb should ever be by itself. That's a potato chip, a potato, mashed potatoes, rice, cornbread. No carb should ever stand alone. It's going to make
it have a day.
Yeah, it needs a day. Preferably protein. Okay, now let's talk about the breakfast.
Oh, how about that? So, Tiffany here, you have hot breakfast and you have cold breakfast, which is cereals and stuff like that. Hot breakfast, eggs, bacon, hash browns, toast, stuff like that. Okay, those are the difference. Which one do you think is better for you?
Better for your blood sugars.
Better for your blood sugars, I'm sorry. What do you think? Tiff gonna tell you the answer.
Hot breakfast. So if your blood sugars are running high, lean more towards hot breakfasts, guys, versus cold breakfasts. Cold breakfasts are going to impact your sugars negatively more so than hot breakfasts. So lean more hot than cold. So if you've been eating cereals all week, not tomorrow. You're going to have a hot oatmeal.
Yes.
Okay? You're going to have some eggs with some turkey bacon.
Correct.
Okay, not the cold. Try to stay away from the cold breakfasts, because that could be making your blood sugars high.
Because guess what? What's in that cold breakfast? That cereal.
Cold milk. And the cereal is a carb, and you probably got a banana in it, and some cherries, and some strawberries, and a piece of toast. It's all carb. All carbs. Carb is out. And now carb. Man, you got a lot of carbs there. And that's why your blood sugar's high.
Ooh. Yeah.
I know y'all out there like, she know what I ate for breakfast yesterday. Because I was a diabetes educator for Kaiser Permanente for a long time.
Even though you had that special K cereal, it just doesn't matter. Cheerios, all that you got.
And ain't enough fiber there to stop that carb. That carb is gone to the races.
Woo.
It's gone.
Yeah, gotta know what's a carb and what's not.
Yeah, you do. We talked about exercise.
Oh yeah.
What else is raising that blood sugar? Stress. Did y'all know stress raises blood sugars? People don't be knowing that.
Did y'all know stress is dangerous?
What be stressing people out? What's stressing your patients right now, Steph? What's stressing them?
Finances.
Finances is
relationships.
Relationships with who?
Those are their friends.
Friends.
Significant others.
Significant others. Check.
Yeah. So.
Children.
Check. Grandchildren.
Check.
Yeah.
Bosses.
Check. Co-workers.
Sister-in-laws.
Ooh. Sister-in-laws.
Brother-in-laws. Mother-in-laws.
Yes. And this is true. All this is happening. It just your blood sugar is going to go up because you're just so stressed out about relationships and those
all kind of things.
Yeah, finances and relationships. Those are the two biggies.
And work.
Yeah,
work is a stressor too.
Those 1, 2, 3. Those are the top 3.
But some of this stuff you guys really can get control of by just what we've talked about before, giving grace.
Making better decisions.
Making better decisions, yes. Making a good decision. Yeah, because if you can make a good decision, you can improve your finances. If you make a good decision, you cannot argue.
Yes.
And you have to realize when you're arguing and fussing and getting all upset, that is raising your blood sugar, blood pressure, and your blood cholesterol. So when you get mad at your coworker because your coworker parked in your parking spot that you usually park in, and she knows that that's your parking spot, and you're pissed off because it's your blood sugar. You have to give her grace. You don't have to let her park there and
park
just
there. You find another
some-
spot and be the bigger person.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it's small stuff. Some stuff we don't have control over, right, guys?
Do not.
So we're not talking about that stuff. But the things we do have control over, we're going to give grace and walk away because we don't want to have high blood sugars over that. We already got, our kids and grandkids that we don't have any choice over. So the things that we can walk away from, we just encourage you to walk away from because that will increase your blood sugar. So if you're thinking like, that's why my blood sugar was high that day after I worked, that day after the thing that happened at the work at the job place. Absolutely. All right. Steph, check that out. What else increases blood sugar?
Oh, pain.
Pain. Is your back hurting? Does your back hurt right now?
Right.
Is that an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10? You may want to get that pain under some type of control if you can. If you can. Because the pain will increase blood sugars. So if you noticed last month your blood sugars were running good and maybe you were having less rain and it was better climate and you're wondering, why is my blood sugars running high? Tiff, I'm not drinking milk. Tiff, I'm not eating cold cereal and I'm not doing, I'm not arguing with people. It could be simply your pain has increased and that will impact your sugars as well. So that would just be you getting back to your primary care doctor and seeing what you can do as far as your pain control.
Exactly.
What about the last tip?
Yeah. Not getting any sleep, guys. You have to get some sleep. Sleep is very, very, very important. So if you're not sleeping, guess whose blood sugar is going to be high? Because guess what? It's stress. It's stress.
The lack of sleep stresses the body. And then that, like I told you, with diabetes, you have that sleep apnea as one of the best friends, that kind of tags along. So the lack of sleep will increase the blood sugar because the lack of sleep just stresses the body.
As such, she said pain as well. That stresses the body. So stress.
Yeah, and the pain kind of keeps you up a lot of times.
And it does. So
they kind of go hand in hand. Yeah, they do. So just trying to work with your doctor, trying to figure out what the pain is coming from, maybe physical therapy, maybe some water aerobics, maybe some stretching.
Water aerobics is good. No pressure on your joints with the water aerobics. So that's really good if you have some joint pain. You're like, well, I can't go jogging or all that walking. Get it. Try some water aerobics. No stress on the joints. Even bicycle riding.
Or sometimes just, get a consultation from a physical therapist too, just trying to figure out if there's some stretches. Because sometimes just stretching, it really helps with pain. The muscles are just so tight on the joints that it will cause pain as well.
It will.
Pop quiz.
Her favorite.
Pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
I like giving them. I don't like getting them.
I hate them.
Okay, y'all, we got a meal. I want to see if y'all know how many carbs is in this meal. Y'all ready? Okay. So in the African American community, so I came up with this meal because we eat this meal. It's kind of common in the African American community. So I picked this one. I hope nobody's offended. But on New Year's Day, you guys, if you're lucky and you're blessed, your house smells amazing. I hope that your house smells amazing. I wish I could just go around to all the amazing houses on New Year's Day and smell that smooth food. Smell that food. Okay, so let me tell you what we have. We're gonna have some fried chicken, some black-eyed peas, some rice, and we're gonna have some cornbread. And I like honey cornbread, so in my house we got honey cornbread. But you can have your hot water cornbread, whatever kind of cornbread you got. Okay, so we got couple questions. So question number 1 is, where's the carb? And then I want to know, how many servings do you have on your plate of carbohydrate? So Steph, where is the carb at?
Well, rice.
Rice is correct.
And honey cornbread.
We know the cornbread is a carb as well.
Even some in the beans.
There is some in the beans. Steph is correct. Most people don't think.
Mostly fiber.
Mostly fiber, but there is some carb there. I know y'all like, Tim, It's a little bit. Talk to a nutritionist. It's a little bit.
Especially when you have that cornbread and the rice mixed together and the beans and it's in the bowl together, because you know we mix it all together.
But yeah, the beans got some carb there. Any more carbs, Steph?
Fried chicken.
Yeah, the actual flour, guys, is a carb. So there's carb, and
Carb.
a lot of carb there. All right. Now, how many servings? How many servings would you say
that
you're having? How many servings would you say? This is a rough guess because we don't know how much rice you're having. We don't know how much beans or how many wings or how much cornbread. So me and Steph are really guessing here. Steph and I both can cook, okay? So at our house, you could easily be at 6, easily 7, 8 by the time the day is over.
Ooh, right by the time the day over, about 10.
It could be bad. You know them wings good. How many wings you gonna have?
Ooh.
Okay, so let's talk about how much is a serving.
How much is a serving?
How much is a serving? So we do it by computer mice. So I say a computer mouse is about the size of a serving. So a computer mouse of rice, 1 piece of cornbread, and then the beans.
The beans.
And then I'm gonna have like 3 wings.
Yes.
So that's about 1, 2, 3, 4. With the cornbread, that's 4, right? That's just one time.
One meal.
And I know me, I'm not having 1 serving of rice. Am I having 1 serving of cornbread? I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna try real hard. But yeah, that's usually not gonna work.
I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna try real hard.
We're gonna just leave it right there, okay? Now, I'm probably going to eat twice that day. Do you see how I can get to 8?
Easily.
Because the honey cornbread is gonna probably take me out in the rice. And I know I'm
probably had a drink.
Oh, don't add an alcohol, because that's a carb. You see, guys. So if your blood sugar is high on January the 2nd, 2022. All right. Okay. So we're gonna leave you with just know this. You need to know what you're eating. If your blood sugars are high, you need to be able to identify at every meal what you're eating. If your evening blood sugars are running high, check morning blood sugars. If your morning blood sugars are running high, check evening blood sugars. If your afternoon blood sugars are running high, check morning blood sugars. Okay.
And check what you're eating.
Check what you're eating.
Because that's why it's probably high. What did you eat?
Well,
if you're eating in the evening, what did you eat to make that blood sugar high in the morning? We said it was like 250.
Right.
What did you eat before you went to bed? Oh, did you in the evening? Or what did you eat in the middle of the night when you got up and went right to the refrigerator? Or like me, sometimes I have a chunky. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because I'm up, you know, and if you can't sleep, what you do? Go eat.
Right.
So it all kind of is a little dirty little cycle here.
Yeah.
So that's what she was basically saying, you know, watch what you're eating. If your night blood sugar, your morning blood sugars are high, what did you eat?
In the evening.
In the evening.
And vice versa.
And vice versa, absolutely.
And then as a bonus tip, if you're drinking pop, you guys know that the pop is running your blood sugars high.
Ooh.
You may want to try some seltzer water. Seltzer water gives you that carbonation, but won't run your blood sugars high.
Correct.
So
We got that. That was a good tip we learned from someone.
Yes.
Yes,
That was a great
awesome.
tip. Yes.
Seltzer water, because it's kind of like you're craving the carbonation, but without the sugar. So perfect. That's it, guys. Thanks
Thank you.
for watching, and subscribe, please, and tell all your friends.
Yes, and thank you for all your comments and your support.
Yes.
You guys stay tuned.
Yes.
And I hope you have better blood sugars.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.